Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary.
The year is 3013. The galaxy is scintillating in the mellow light. Two galactic pilgrims seek out vistas in the samurai future to bring forth the unity of the cosmic shaman. Opening the door of the pantheon of mystics, the evil sorcerer-wizard powers the engine of science, seeking to forever alter the sacred balance, traveling on effervescent balls of summer fire.
This week, Galaxy Quest.
In the year 2019, geeks are monsters who harass women off the internet and put fascists in the White House. But in the year 1999, 20 years ago, they were lovable dorks. It was fine. You could just have a laugh with them. It's no problem at all.
I could still have a laugh with this movie.
I genuinely enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, and which movie is this?
This film is Galaxy Quest.
Yay! Hello, this is Matt.
This is Luke.
You have come into our Sci-Fi Sanctuary where we're talking about...
I just said it.
I just thought I'd see how many times I can do it.
Star Trek 11.
Yeah, just right off the bat, I often, somewhat facetiously, but kind of almost correctly, refer to this as the best Star Trek movie.
Well, when we did the motion picture, we said that we don't necessarily agree with the odd and even thing, right?
Right.
But people used to use this as the 11th Star Trek film to make that work.
It's as legit as pretty much any Star Trek film, and no Star Trek film can ever bring in the real life side of Star Trek.
Right.
Whereas this film can and does it well, even if it smells a little weird these days.
Yeah. So we both saw this in theaters on release, right?
Yeah. So I think it's the same in the UK. But everything's closed on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Except for 5 restaurants in the movie theaters. Are the movie theaters closed?
Wait, you saw it on Christmas Day?
On Christmas Day.
Oh, I would never go to any business on Christmas Day because that's a horrible thing to do.
No, this is how my Christmas Day would roll. No, we used to drive up. We'd go visit my family in other states. There'd be several people, but there was a period where it's just I'm an only child, so myself, my two parents, not my 3 parents. Hey, I guess you can have 3 parents these days. Anyway, so.
Yep. Okay. Get on with that.
Yeah. So we'd open presents in the morning, and my mom would get some Christmas food stuff, and my dad and I would bugger off and spend our Christmas money at Tower Records, which was open on Christmas Day.
Huh.
Then we'd get Vietnamese food or something because the Vietnamese restaurant was open.
Okay.
And usually at night, we'd have dinner and kind of stumble on out to a movie.
Oh.
And in 1999, this was that movie. And this is the only movie I did it for several movies, but this is the movie I specifically remember going out on opening night, which was Christmas Day, and watching.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that's weird because I feel like I saw it before Christmas, so maybe the UK got it first.
Could have been. Maybe I saw it a week late. I don't know. I really think I saw it on release, but
Christmas Day feels like a weird release.
it's a release date in America.
Huh.
If Christmas is on a Monday, there's a few films that are released on Friday, normal, and then a few films that are released on Christmas Day.
Huh.
And I believe this was a Christmas Day one.
Oh, bizarre.
Yeah.
But I saw it, I think it was a friend's birthday, so a bunch of us went and saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Probably when I first watched it, I was already a bit of a Trek fan, but I didn't know behind the scenes Shatner stuff, right? Because I was 9 years old.
Yeah, I had read Trek movie memories. I'd read Star Trek memories. I'd seen all Trek. I knew where this was coming from.
Right, whereas I was just enjoying it on a very base level of...
But you can enjoy it on that level perfectly fine.
Since then, I've...
It's when I said I wanted to do this movie, you're like, I don't know, it's a comedy. But I was like, no, it's a good sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Of course it is a comedy too, but there are certain parodies that transcend and become part of that genre. Blazing Saddles is a Western.
Right.
It's a parody of a Western, but it is a Western. Black Dynamite, it is blaxploitation. It also, it's a comedy, but it is its genre. You want to throw any more in that mix?
I'm trying to think of one out. I can't.
Young
I think
Frankenstein?
a lot of horror movies have done it, actually. Because even like Scream
Yeah, okay.
is like a parody, but now it's just another horror franchise, right?
Yeah. Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Just sticking with the Brooks there. He did it twice. Good for him. Spaceballs, he did not do it.
No, that's just a parody.
Yeah. But he definitely could do it in this. He tried it with High Anxiety, too, but it didn't quite take, where he's trying to do Hitchcock. But, yeah.
I feel like there's a fantasy one, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Fantasy parody.
Yeah.
It kind of works. Is that Harry Potter?
No.
No, I'm just trying to piss people off. Sorry.
Well, no, but Harry Potter does do the thing where it like deals in old tropes.
That's
But not as a comedy thing, it's just like a...
more like a Joseph Campbell
deconstructs
thing.
them
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And I actually like those quite well. So if you send me your hate mail, I'll probably agree with it. One thing, I guess, I'm not even sure because I've only seen one episode, but is the Orville the modern equivalent of this?
Well, that's what we've heard, right? But neither of us have probably seen it.
I watched the one episode. I watched one episode, and I liked it. I actually did enjoy it. It didn't like grab me to a way where I just keep watching Orville. I watched the one where they land on a planet where people are. It's like their social media credit score like defines their life, and the engineer like, what does he do? He like dances around a statue and ends up being sent to like re-education or something. It wasn't. It was good.
I mean, that also is like real life China, right?
Yeah. And coming soon, real life America and UK.
Yeah. No, I guess Orville maybe is more like the new Red Dwarf.
Yeah, because it doesn't have that.
It doesn't get.
It doesn't have the
fan side.
Trekkie side. It doesn't have the convention side that this.
No. It's just
now
the actual space trope.
One thing I haven't done is been to conventions. So you've been to a convention. Can you give us just a few words on that?
So I've been to like one or two Comic-Con-y type ones, which I'm actually not a big fan of. I don't like anything where they try to create like, if you're a geek, you're into everything, right? Like that's why I hate those Funko Pop figures. It's like, oh, here's this one character you like, so you must like all these other characters because you're a geek and you just like all the same shit the other geeks like.
Star Wars figures did that too.
Yeah. No, but like, okay, I like Star Wars. Doesn't necessarily mean I also like...
Lobot.
Yeah, what? You know what the 3 Star Wars figures I still own are?
Lobot.
Wedge Antilles, Lobot, and Nien Nunb.
I do like
My
Lobot,
favorites.
and that was long before Solo. I like Lobot in the 80s. I know his name.
Yeah.
Of course, after Solo, I guess more people do know his name, but
Yeah.
you
But
haven't
that-
seen that. But
At one of these, I did go and meet, have my photo taken with Shatner.
that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah,
here.
but it was, you like queue up for like 2 hours. You get 4 seconds while you pose, take a photo and move on.
And then
Shatner
you saw
didn't
a
say
pretty
word to
lady,
me.
right?
But no, that's it. He didn't say anything to the dudes, but he chatted up every single chick. He's like, oh, nice uniform, very short skirt, I like it. Giving them all this.
But he shot his photo with you, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't want anything else
No.
from meeting Shatner, right?
No, that's a great story. I was listening. Do you know Henry Rollins?
Yeah, I know the name. I don't know if
Punk
I've ever
rock singer. He just
yeah.
loves spoken word. I was listening to his podcast a few years ago, and he was talking about how he weirdly became friends with Shatner, where he just has these totally bizarre social functions, and yeah, like
I can
the
imagine.
skybox at the basketball game or whatever, and it's like, man, how fun would that be? This
Sounds pretty great.
wild, manic, elderly man,
But what I enjoy a lot more are very specific conventions.
Yeah.
So I went to the Transformers one a few times, and that is great because it's
yeah.
a bunch of people who you know are all into the thing you're into.
Yeah.
So this was more like that, right? Because it's a Galaxy Quest convention,
Right.
and like I've got a lot of friends who I met through like old Nintendo magazines, because we know we have a thing in common, so we meet up and hang out.
No, if I did go to a convention, we live deep in the mountains of Japan. I'm probably not going to any conventions, but yeah, I would. There's a Las Vegas Star Trek one.
Yeah, you go
I'd
to
wanna
the
to that
Trek
one.
convention or the.
I wouldn't want to go to
something convention. You
Yeah,
don't
San
go
Diego
to
Comic-Con. I want, they're gonna premiere a few trailers. I can catch those on YouTube, right?
Be easier than you can see them at the Comic Con.
Exactly. So if you want to hang with your own strain of geek
Yeah.
a bit.
Well, yeah. It's whether. What do you go to conventions for? Do you go to like take lots of pictures of yourself in your cosplay and to buy lots of merch, or just to meet like-minded people?
Yeah, I just went to a real lame convention probably in the late 80s, which was just comic books. I went there just to find back issues, but that's the
Right.
late 80s. So I guess that's how it rolled then.
Yeah. But yeah, these days it's more like you'd go online to do that, right?
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
the convention used to, like we said with the holiday special, you go to the conventions, it's the only place you can find shit
Right.
like that.
But now you don't want to find people into the same niche that you're into. I
Right,
guess.
so it's just an excuse to
Which you
make
can
some
do
friends and drink with them.
Yeah, you can do that online, but you can't drink with them so well
Right.
online.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the times I don't go to like big conventions, but I go to meetups with the people I've made friends with online.
Well, this is our convention. We sit down and talk about this shit.
Yeah, basically.
So join our convention.
Join us.
Join us. I will tell you about this movie called Galaxy Quest. Then.
Do it.
Galaxy Quest, the prime cheese of cheesy television science fiction. The show has been off the air for years, but the cast still makes a living doing conventions. Former star Jason Nesmith is a little more into it than his former co-stars, but even his spirit sinks when he hears haters throwing their shade by the urinals. Thinking he is rolling downtrodden into yet another fan film, Nesmith finds himself at the helm of a functional Starship Protector. Yes, the one from the show, constructed by the somewhat naive Thermidian aliens. Nesmith half-heartedly whisks off the Thermidian's tormentor, the reptilian alien Ceres, but does not realize what he's done until he's blasted back to Earth in a droplet of interstellar goo. After scooping up the rest of the crew and a red shirt guy from a big box store opening ceremony, the crew of the Protector slowly finds themselves falling into their roles from the Galaxy Quest television show. After a second encounter with Ceres, the Protector is crippled, and the Thermidians find themselves the victims of a genocide. Seeking to repair the beryllium sphere which powers the Protector, the ship limps to a planet populated by deadly cute green aliens. The captain loses his shirt, but the ship gets its sphere. In a final confrontation with Ceres, the Protector tricks the reptilian tactician by dragging mines directly to his flagship, blowing it up, but the Protector finds itself on a collision course with Earth. Galaxy Quests back on the Earth's surface come to the rescue via the internet, and the Protector crash lands into a Galaxy Quest convention where they get enough applause to spark a brand new Galaxy Quest series. I know I didn't get balls deep into this meta-confusing plot, but let's not forget that the crew includes Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, and that red shirt making his pop culture debut, Sam Rockwell.
Falling apart at any moment. Just doing my Keith Moon impression. Could dial 322 for a skunk and bones. To live through interesting times again. Visions of Gaza flourishing in green. Faces of kings and mountainside sin.
Does that make any sense? This is a weird movie to describe when you get right down to it.
It is a pretty, well, yeah, it's one of those just a stuff happens plot, right? Like when I did Transformers.
Well, there's like, no. I mean,
there is a plot on top of it, but yeah, it's pretty meta and weird.
It's like there's two levels of plot. Like,
right.
You know, he's the actor playing the character, yet he also kind of becomes the character, so we have to acknowledge that as well.
Yep.
I really like Tim Allen in this film.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with his other work.
Okay,
right?
I really like Tim Allen in Toy Story.
Yes.
I hate Tim Allen everywhere else. His stand-up sucks. I didn't like Home Improvement. The Santa Claus, I hate that movie.
I think I enjoyed Santa Claus a bit as a kid, but I doubt I'd enjoy it now.
I was like 15 when it came out.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'd like Home Improvement stuff. That wasn't a big factor in the UK in the 90s,
I imagine.
right?
But the point is, I don't really like Tim Allen, but I love him in this movie, and I love him in Toy Story. So
Also, didn't he do loads of cocaine and some bad shit and stuff?
I'd probably like that more in his acting. Not this movie, non-accepting.
Yeah.
Withstanding.
No, yeah,
whatever.
he's great in this.
Yeah.
But, he is kind of playing a big douche, so...
Yeah, so it kind of plays in, but he does it so well. I mean, they wouldn't have done any better by casting Shatner in this one, right?
No, he is perfect. Well, also,
Well, everyone in
he's
this
still
movie's
kind of
perfect.
in shape in a way that Shatner wasn't at
Okay,
this
true.
point.
that could have worked in this movie, though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing in this movie. Everyone is really good.
Yeah. It's perfectly cast.
You know,
And
Sigourney
they're all
Weaver.
just, like, doing it and having fun with it.
She just says what the computer's saying, but
Yeah.
she was, this is my job. I'm doing it. She's great. You know.
And when it won't answer anyone but her.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why I find her most attractive in this movie.
Huh.
More than Alien or Ghostbusters or anything.
Is it just the onesie thing that she wears?
Maybe. I don't know. I was dating a blonde when this movie came out, but still, even now, I'm like, yeah, that I don't know. Yeah. And she
Like
was
woman who
already.
repeats what your computer says.
I know she was already, like what, a little older when she did this, so good for her. Alan Rickman,
He's perfect in everything, right? So
I made a note. I didn't give you my notes yet. I made a note that he's the only one when they show you the original Galaxy Quest footage.
Right.
He's the only one that's not acting badly because Alan Rickman can't act badly.
right, it's not. One of my favorite Alan Rickman moments ever is him almost acting badly. It's in Die Hard when he puts on that American accent. I love that scene.
But it's still great.
It's like, oh God, you're one of them. Yeah, Alan Rickman is always perfect.
That's rather fantastic, shitty acting, except for Rickman, who.
But that's
can't-
also his character, right? Is like he's the one who's a real actor, and that's why he's annoyed that he's stuck doing this shit.
Right. Now, I'm not saying it's his first role. I'm sure he did stuff before this, but I do know this is definitely the first place I took note of Sam Rockwell.
Right, he has gone on to do a bunch of stuff
A
since,
lot of
right?
good stuff. He did Moon, directed by David Bowie's son.
Yeah.
He was in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which George Clooney made. He's great in that. He's in lots of other stuff too. But I really like him. And when I saw this movie, on opening night in 1999, Christmas Day, I came out and man, that guy was good. I like him.
But of course, he had to be an unknown, right, for this film to work.
Yeah, of course. But it's just, I guess it's a little jarring now because now when you watch it, that's Sam Rockwell,
Yeah, but he's still not like A-list famous, is he?
He's not A-list,
he
but
does slightly more artsy, sidey
I
films.
feel like he might be a little better known in America. But you're right, he's not a blockbuster
Right.
leading
He's
man.
not Alan Rickman, or
Alan Rickman, star of stage and screen.
he's not the rest of the cast.
Yeah. Maybe a year or two after this came out, we watched the entire film in Thermidian.
Oh, you told me about this, right?
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's Mars Attacks. What's Familian sound like?
Diet Coke. It had a lot of
Okay.
screechy noises and shit.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, the Thermidians. Sorry, I didn't get the actors' names, but yeah, the Thermidians are quite fantastic.
They're fantastic, yeah.
Because they're what, tentacly monster
squid
creatures?
things, just in human suits.
Yeah.
You have saved our planet.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, you are last hope.
I love the Familians. Yeah, no, it's perfectly cast. Even like the bad guy, right? Who's pretty generic. I'm wearing lots of makeup and I talk like a Klingon and I do mean things. He just does it with so much scenery chewing cheese that it works. And he doesn't need to be nuanced, right? He's just there to be evil and they kill him at the end.
I mean, and again, he's behind so much makeup. Does that have CG? I don't even know. Probably a little bit.
I don't think he had any CG, just like the spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I can't tell you who was
Oh, and those
behind
little
that
green
makeup.
aliens, those are fucking CG. They look like the music video to Eiffel 65's Blue.
Yeah, but besides the green aliens, we have the rock creatures too.
Yeah, but the rock creature kind of works more because rock's easy to do, right?
But do you know where the rock creatures were supposed to be?
Where?
They were supposed to be in the climax for Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. It wasn't just. It wasn't supposed to be just the disembodied Godhead chasing him around. There was actually supposed to be like multiple. I think there's one in the end, but there was supposed to be like multiple rock creatures. So I felt they were kind of. I might be off, but I kind of felt like they were referencing that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Well, here's the thing. The people making this definitely knew a lot about Star Trek. But they have a very weird understanding of what Star Trek fans are. Because the fans in this all think Galaxy Quest was real.
What it wasn't?
But like, I know that's like the joke is that the Midians think that, right?
Yeah.
But then whenever they meet the geeks at the conventions, they are all like, they don't seem to get that it's fake. Which I know is a bit of a thing with fans, but not to this extent. Like at the end when he phones him up and he's like, no, it is real, I need your help. He's like, I knew it.
Yeah, but if
I would love it if Star Trek was real. I don't think it is.
If you got a call from Shatner demanding help from you because it's real, you'd dig that call.
Oh, fuck yeah. But I'd also be surprised.
You'd be very surprised. I guess you wouldn't scream, I knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you there. We got that. I just want to talk about now I just want to call him Tim Allen, but that's a name. Nesbitt. Yeah, I said several times in the frickin'.
Well, you got three names because you got Tim Allen, then the fake actor's name, and then the fake character's name.
Okay, anyway, he has a swank house. It's been in multiple movies.
Yeah.
What other movies?
It reminded me of Iron Man's house. I don't know if it is.
It reminded me, but I think it's different.
Yeah. But yeah, just nice house with a big glass front.
It has been in several movies.
I definitely recognize it.
I don't think, yeah, anyway. But yeah, that shot of him being beamed back down or dude back down from the video, he's just quaking in his boots.
That's great. I really like that. That's a gag which I always like in films. Something dumb and special effecty happens, and then the guy is just left shocked for like an extended shot. And they do a couple of really good ones of that in the Transformers films, where he's like in a car and it does some stupid transformy flip. And then you just get a shot of Shia LaBeouf in the car screaming for like 6 seconds.
And that guy does it better later, right?
Yeah.
And the best thing is we keep saying, oh, what was his name? But the whole point of Guy is, what's my last name? What's my last name? Nobody knows my last name. Can you pronounce my last name?
Cumgeezer?
No. Okay.
Comegis, right?
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, no, actually in Japan they can say it's all Japanese sounds, but
Oh yeah, because it's shit spelled phonetically, right?
Samajizu. It works.
It's my name they can't say. Ruku.
Ruku. Oh, I was going about Samahezu.
Samahezu, yeah.
Samahezu. Okay.
I just get Ruku-sama, which sounds very polite, but it's just failing to read my name.
Yeah. Hey, a few things this film might do better in Star Trek. When the protector is damaged, that little sputter it has.
Yeah.
We never get to see Starfleet ships like that through but they should be. I mean, if Scotty isn't keeping that engine going, that's what it's going to do, yeah?
Yep.
That's what a boat does, right? You're in a...
I think we've seen it, like, just stop, but yeah, we never see it sputter.
Yeah, the sputter's fun. And it's a nice ship.
It's a cool... So the two things which are, like, I would be perfectly happy if they just made a straight-laced Galaxy Quest. Ship and the music are perfect.
Music's perfect?
That Galaxy Quest theme is great.
It's a nice bridge. Yeah. It's a better bridge than Voyager had.
Yeah, true. It's a better ship than Voyager. Voyager's just like a tadpole to the Enterprise's frog.
Oh, and while we're digging on the little dumb things, Omega 13, is that like Ice 9?
Right, well, right. How did they build it when no one knew what it was?
Well, here, okay, maybe that's where the problem is with this being a comedy. Right. It really doesn't matter. That's just hysterical.
Right, I know, but that is really funny.
But I know Kurt Vonnegut, and I think it's the Science of Titan, which I think I mentioned before. But they have Ice 9, sort of the mysterious force. I felt like they were.
The only Vonnegut I've read is
Slaughterhouse 5.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse 5.
Yeah, that's the first. That's the one never.
Yeah, the one everyone reads first.
It's the best.
I really liked it. I do want to read some more.
Okay.
It's a very weird writing style. I like it. Yes. Just stream of consciousness.
We got into quite a bit of the characters, but even missing his Fred, Tony Shalhoub, monk.
Yeah, I think it was Fred.
He's so stoned in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the character's supposed to be, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's the actor, too, and good for him if it was, but I think that was supposed to. I just love
Yeah,
that.
when they're all freaking out about getting gooed up to space and he just doesn't care.
Wow. And then, yeah, because Scotty was always drinking scotch, so why shouldn't Fred be a bit of a stoner?
Hey, so they say that we need the thing to make the spaceship go. Okay, thanks. I love that scene.
I just want him to be in the. Yeah.
That's basically all the scenes in Star Trek are, right? It's just, oh, hey, we need the MacGuffin to make the plot happen, so take care of that. Yeah, he's fun. I like him. And we touched on Sigourney Weaver a little bit, but I think we'd all like to touch Sigourney Weaver a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it's too much truth here, isn't it?
Yeah. So her job, the female character's job, is just to repeat the computer.
So, okay.
I kind of was disappointed that she kind of got together with the commander at the end.
Yeah.
It felt very cheap and unearned.
Yeah, we didn't need that at all.
That's just
but
what Hollywood movies have, right?
Yeah.
Someone has to get
especially in
together.
1999, I guess.
Yeah.
But
But he didn't feel like he'd really earned that because he was still mostly a douche. He just didn't let these people get massacred. Which
exactly.
Is,
They didn't die. They did crash land. How many people did they kill crash? I mean, there were people backstage, right?
Yeah.
The news is going to be like 30 people died at Galaxy Quest convention. But her and the captain, their other big scene together is the Chompers.
Oh, yeah.
I love the
That's great.
Chompers.
Why are they here?
Because they were in this episode, so they're here. No detail left.
Yep. That was fun. That's a lot of the things this film does. It's like, you think, yeah, that is what these shows were like. I don't think they ever actually were, though.
They weren't quite that
ridiculous. They never quite had
ridiculous.
chompers, right? There's maybe like one fan.
Okay. Star Trek V again, and I'm using that as an example. People don't like that. But that whole thing up the turbo shaft,
Oh,
it's
kind
kind of
of,
a similar thing, I feel
Yeah.
like. Spock in his boots. Why?
We have a story in Russia. If the boot fits. I like Star Trek 5.
That's 6, isn't it?
Is that 6?
It's 6. You
I thought
referenced the good
I thought
one.
the whole boots thing was 5.
Nah, because they're looking for the people that last day
that was
Klingons.
6.
But that's it's almost who we were talking about, isn't it? But what else? Oh, the historical documents. We already mentioned the Thermidians getting wrong and the fans getting wrong, but you said, oh, we're not that stupid. But how many things do we see that are given to us as historical documents that are absolute bullshit?
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to put based on a true story at the start of something.
I mean, we're talking like actual documentaries, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't there. You don't know,
Well, yeah, so the famous one which I do know quite a lot about. Have you ever seen The King of Kong?
No.
It's a documentary about people chasing the Donkey Kong high score.
Okay.
But
Oh.
they really, really, really paint one guy as a good guy and one guy as a bad guy. I'm sure Billy Mitchell is a bit of a douche, right? But he's painted as just a straight up evil villain in this film. And then Steve Weeby's just this lovely family man who's...
I'm just trying to kick that up a few notches. When you turn on CNN and it tells you, like, Iran is this horrible, evil villain,
Right.
And these are the historical documents. You must trust them.
Well, when I visited Hiroshima, right, I just remember feeling so angry at the version of history I was taught as a kid that we were the good guys and the other side were the bad guys, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, in Britain, we're always taught about how, like, when the Blitz was happening, yeah, but it could never defeat us because of the British bulldog spirit. But that didn't stop the Allies trying the exact same shit on Germany and Japan. Like, the pure arrogance of saying, yeah, bombing our civilians will never work. But bombing their civilians is sure to end the war.
Something else notable is Tokyo itself sustained way in Dresden, Germany.
Yeah.
Sustained-
Conventional bombings did way more damage than the atom bombs.
Yeah. So, because the whole point with Hiroshima and Nagasaki is those cities had not been bombed.
They deliberately left 5 cities unbombed.
Yeah.
It's actually why Kyoto has so much historical buildings, because it was on the short list for the atom bombs.
Do you know why it doesn't have so many though? I mean, it does have some, but a lot of them are gone. If you go to central Kyoto, it's new, right?
Right, but that, because they're all wooden buildings, that's how you do it in Japan.
Yeah, no, they
Constantly replace
they
them.
intentionally got them down because they thought if Kyoto gets bombed, they're going to light on fire. So it's just get rid of them now.
They got rid of all the
Not
wooden
knowing
buildings.
that the Allies actually were not
Right.
planning to. And I'd like to think that they wouldn't have wanted to
They
bomb that. But
they actually got close, and one of the top guys was like, "We really don't want to bomb Kyoto. There's so much history there." And
Yeah, really?
He'd like spent time there, so he talked them out of it, and they bombed Nagasaki instead.
right.
But
Should've
none
done
of these
that,
cities had. It didn't actually affect the war. They were showing off to Russia. But
Yeah, there were no military targets there
But, like,
to speak of.
the whole it ended the war. Shit. No, Russia getting involved ended the war. It's like
Yeah, really. But
because the atom bomb was no different than the fire bombings Japan had been sustaining for years.
yeah, just that instead of 2 weeks, it takes a few minutes, I guess.
Right. But in those days when communication wasn't instant, that wasn't a big difference.
Right.
And they had already shown that they were willing to sacrifice every single civilian in Japan to save the war effort.
So, going from the very deep topics back into Galaxy Quest, when they are plummeting towards the Earth in the end, are they doing the same thing and running a gambit at the expense of the Earth?
Kinda. The right thing to do would have been steer and hit the moon, right?
Yeah.
They could have destroyed all life on the planet for all they fucking knew.
Exactly, because they didn't know it did.
Oh yeah, he even hits the Omega-13. What if it did destroy the universe? See, I feel like if this film was made today, by certain directors, that would be the joke ending, right? He hits the Omega-13 and it just destroys all life.
That's Deadpool 3. There is no Deadpool 4 because it's a reboot. They'd have a reboot with Ryan Reynolds again.
That would be the gag. You hit the button and then it's just the Marvel logo comes up and you have the same film with a different cast.
No. I want the film to end there, and then 2 years later, you get a reboot, but with Ryan Reynolds again, playing the same role.
See, he's the one character I think they can just fold into Marvel. Because it makes sense with Deadpool, right? It doesn't matter if it's canon. So.
It doesn't matter if it's canon, it doesn't matter if it's not canon.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly, because he's Deadpool. He'll just turn up, he'll make one joke about it, and that's it.
Fan films. Nesmith. It is Nesmith or Nebit? I'm saying his name
I think
wrong?
it's Nesmith.
Okay, Nesmith. Because I'm thinking Michael Nesmith and the Monkees, right?
Okay.
Hey, a monkey. He had a country career too, actually. Interestingly,
The original idol group.
the Prefab Four.
Yeah.
But here, you want to talk about the Monkees for a minute?
Yeah, you probably know more than me, but
Yeah,
I find them interesting.
We talked about monkeys in last episode, right?
But should we just cut this out and put it in the King Kong episode?
No, it's in the Galaxy Quest episode we're talking about now. Yeah, they were put together for a TV show, right?
Okay.
Two of them actually were musicians, so they kind of copped an attitude, sort of like Alan Rickman here, right?
Right.
Like Micah Nesmith was a country musician. Peter Tosh was an actual. Maybe he wasn't actually a bass player, but I mean, and then Davy Jones and Mickey Dolenz were actors, right?
Right.
So it's kind of a weird meshwork of we get here. Alan Rickman's the real Alan
Actor.
Rickman's the real actor. Tim Allen's the douche, and everyone else is trying to get their paycheck, and Guy's trying to get trying to get
Just
his weed for
remember
the
that he
week.
exists.
Yeah. No, his paycheck was just to get that week's weed, right?
Yeah. Weed and the latest Dreamcast game.
Yeah. But in a way, any movie is the prefabricated Monkees, right? You don't have movies where this. There's probably a few, but you don't have a cast that grew up together and now they're doing their thing, right?
I mean,
Monty
that's
Python. I don't know.
I think the Seth Rogen crowd, those guys, I think that's their shtick.
Yeah.
Because they also they go in with barely a script, right, and just ad-lib these comedies. But
Right.
yeah, for the most part, it's all very.
Well,
And then you have directors like Christopher Nolan who build up a crew.
Yeah.
They keep bringing back, but
in
initially
general,
it's prefabricated.
TV and movies are all prefab. We're
Yeah.
the Monkees are prefab, they're stupid, right? So is Galaxy Quest, so is Star Trek,
Yeah.
I mean, so is most things. I mean, Marvel too. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
working for. Maybe they get along now, or maybe they hate each other. I don't know, but you don't. We won't call it prefab, but that's what you like half the time.
Yeah. yeah. It's weird that that's unacceptable with music, but everything else we just take it as that's how you do it.
Yeah, because what if you did sci-fi and get a group of people ready to dig each other and know each other? Could be a disaster because then you're missing the talent.
Oh man, it's not about book learning and talent. It's about the passion, man.
It's
The
not
passion
the
for the
vibes,
music.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good vibes. I'm just vibing, man.
Everything's
Welcome
true
to
love.
Luke and Matt's Sci-Fi Vibes.
We're just vibrating into your. Wait, I'm gonna stop there.
Time moves backwards, I get older and younger, and I see. I don't always like the things I observe there to be. I don't claim to be.
Just throwing out all those things like actors, characters, plot, philosophy. Does this have the design and aesthetic of a real sci-fi, or the design and aesthetic of a comedy, or is it somewhere in between? I think it looks like a sci-fi with
Yeah.
with 2000 era CG.
Yeah, if you took like Andromeda, you know, like
This looks
a,
better than
a
Andromeda.
sci-fi show. Yeah, exactly.
And that's a Gene Roddenberry concept, isn't it?
Yeah. This is at least as good as those, if not better.
It's better than that.
But I mean, obviously the effects are better because it's a Hollywood budget, right? But like the uniforms and stuff, I mean, they're kind of generic, but no more like the Discovery uniforms.
I like those.
Yeah, but they're pretty forgettable, right? They're not iconic.
I think they might end up being iconic. I like this.
They're okay.
They're not iconic
Yeah, they're
now.
not. No, but I don't think they'll ever be original series or next gen iconic. Because they
Okay.
just look like a bit uniformy.
Yeah.
No, okay. Here's one you compare it to: Enterprise.
Okay,
These
those
are at
fun.
least as good as the Enterprise uniforms.
They're better than the Enterprise uniforms. See, I feel like Discovery uniform is like a kind of step up from the Enterprise ones.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
That's why I changed my tune because
Yeah.
Discovery actually is a pretty cool.
Yeah,
uniform.
Enterprise. Those are like, I mean, those are maintenance uniforms, right?
Yeah, it just jumps.
I don't dislike them, but yeah, they don't really scream out at you.
Yeah, whereas the Galaxy Quest ones are at least as good
Oh,
as
those
those.
look good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the ship, as we've said, is a dope ship. I like that spaceship.
Yeah. All those designs.
And the baddie spaceship too.
Yeah.
With the big like open cannon front thing.
The beryllium sphere that looks cool.
Yeah, that was cool. The
Yeah.
minefield was nice and like dragging them.
The goo through space that was great.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like
I mean,
that.
you could take out the comedy and make this a real sci-fi film.
Yeah,
And it'd be-
definitely.
Well, it is a real sci-fi film. That's my point. But
Yeah. Well, it's also like this was around the end of when you could do parody films. Because now the parody is just rolled into it.
yeah.
Like, you don't need to do a Star Wars parody because they just put those jokes in Force Awakens, right?
Okay.
They have jokes about the Force and stuff. You don't need to do a parody of Star Trek because the 2009 Star Trek film had like red shirt jokes and stuff.
Yeah. So the gray area, I guess, were the scary movies. I
Yeah.
maybe saw the first one. I don't remember anything about it.
Right,
I
but-
definitely didn't watch it up to what 6 or however far.
Oh yeah. Like Scary Movie 1 was okay, but even around then, like Scream was coming out around the same time, right?
I think it
And
was a little
doing it
earlier,
while
but
also
yeah.
being a good horror film.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Scary Movie, superhero movie, all those fucking shit.
Did Freddy pioneer this? Nightmare on Elm Street's a parody of itself.
Right.
Except
yeah,
for the first one, which is a great horror movie. Every other one, second one's like about homoeroticism, and then it just gets into weird
Well, and
surrealist crap.
Even
and-
Schwarzenegger, right? Terminator 1, it's very serious. He puts the sunglasses on because he has to wear them. Terminator 2, he puts them on because he looks cool.
3 because he has to, because it's parody.
Yeah. There you go, Terminator 3. They just did the parody in the Terminator film. Right? And that was just after this.
So
So yeah, around the 2000s, we stopped doing distinct parodies and just the serious films started having a bit more of a sense of humor within them.
okay, I'm going to ask you about 2 kinds of films. Then one is hypothetical, one is real.
No?
First one is Galaxy Quest 2. That is hypothetical.
Okay. What about it?
Let's just,
All right, if we do-
let's say it was 2005, right? They're
Okay,
not
not like
elderly.
now.
Right.
Yeah, but what would they have done with it?
That's my point.
It would have
Would
just been the
with,
same again, right?
I don't know. You can find a way to twist the narrative.
I guess it would be like the Thermidians have now become like fucking monsters, and now they have to actually defeat them.
Oh, they have to defeat the Protector, and they have
should-
to build their own.
They shouldn't have gone and pretended to be heroes because they've actually just fucked up the galaxy. And now these race of idiots who think they're like superheroes have the best ship in the... That would actually
Yeah.
be a fun film.
It might have been, or, you know. Okay, the other one is so, and this makes it clear that if you're doing a fan production, it's bullshit, right?
Right.
He's doing it because that's the only thing to do. He doesn't have real jobs these days.
Yeah.
Tying back into Star Trek, since Galaxy Quest, there have been some very good Star Trek fan films.
Arguably better than the legit films,
Yeah,
right?
Star Trek Continues, I like better than most actual original series
we don't
episodes.
talk about that one anymore.
Oh, no, we don't talk about that one. This is good.
It was good.
I don't care about the people. It's whatever. It's a good show. You watch, it's good, right?
And, neither of us paid for it, so...
There's Phase 2 New Voyages. Not quite as good, but they often hit the mark pretty well, right? Their main problem was the guy that was running the show, which was their Kirk, was also an Elvis impersonator, so you had like Kirk with Elvis sideburns. Not just Kirk sideburns, but Elvis sideburns. And yeah, it didn't suck, but obviously that wasn't, he was supposed to be like the director, I think, but he had to play Kirk until they found someone else.
Okay.
The point being, we got these fan things. Maybe there are weird scandals about the guy running the show hitting on too many ladies, but they did make actual good fan versions of the thing they liked, where
Right.
Galaxy Quest makes it seem like that's not going to happen.
But then, that's another case of that is just what the real films are now, right?
With giant budgets.
Yeah, but because these things have been going on enough that the fans have inherited the earth. So, but yeah, it definitely.
So,
But even now, a big name actor dropping into these fan stuff does still seem like a step down, right?
yeah.
That's not you only do that if your career is on the way.
I don't know. It's kind of an homage sometimes, though, right? I mean, I remember.
Maybe a cameo role.
Yeah, I remember some of the Buck Rogers actors actually showed in some of the Trek fan films, I think. But, they hadn't been the public eye for 20 or more years,
Right,
so it's kind of cool they showed up there, right?
Shatner wouldn't, right?
No, Shatner. Takei did, and Takei's pretty cool.
I didn't know he had.
Koenig did. Walter Koenig showed up in some fan films. I mean,
Nice.
he can make his... Takei and Koenig can make their money at conventions, no problem, right?
Yeah.
But they did the fan films.
Much respect
Nicole
for that.
Nichols did it. Some of the Voyager crew. Again, though, okay, there we go. Who played Paris? The guy who played Paris on Voyager. He's done a few.
Yeah, of
so
course.
maybe for him it's a step down.
Yeah, but
So-
what else has he got?
So if
going on?
Sulu does it, it's cool. If Paris does it, it's desperate. Is that what we're
Right,
saying?
yeah, it's... If they do it and it feels like they're doing it because they want to do it for these fans, it's cool. If they do it and it seems like they're doing it because that's the only acting gigs they've got, it feels a bit sad.
Well, the first New Voyages one, I remember, it wasn't so well made. They made better ones later, but they had gotten the guy from the original series, Doomsday Machine.
Huh.
Matt Decker, the other Decker, right?
Oh, right.
They gotten the actor to come back, right?
Huh.
So that guy was doing it because, probably just for fun, to be honest, right? He was pretty old. But that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. He was never a named actor or anything.
In
so.
Continues, they get the guy who was the Ares, right? Or
Yeah,
Apollo.
he comes back and finishes that, and they write a good story about that. That is obviously the biggest plus there. They write a good story about it, right?
Although I think Star Trek is a special case because, was it half of Next Gen fan scripts?
Well, they had a open submission project,
Yeah.
a policy, and
I don't-
they would definitely rewrite them several times.
Of course, right.
I
But
heard
that's
it-
true of even from a professional script, right?
Yeah,
right?
I heard the guy that wrote True Q.
Yeah.
It was a fan submitted script, and he submitted the script. And, we accepted. They paid him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The episode came on 6 months later. It's like, wow, 90% of this is different.
Yeah, but his name's in the credits and he got paid.
Exactly, I know.
Very happy.
He was perfectly happy. Just saying, they changed a lot because they're making a show. That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
But,
Friggin' the greatest sci-fi authors of all time get their scripts rewritten for Star Trek.
so what I'm basically getting at is, does Galaxy Quest have more Trek DNA than, say, a Star Trek Continues? It's a big budget thing with good actors, good
Right,
behind
was
the scenes
Star Trek
folks.
a big budget thing with good actors?
Not the original, but the movies were, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. To lesser. The biggest budget ones are the Abrams ones,
Yeah.
and those are at least Trek, right? So Galaxy Quest is more of a Trek film than the Abrams Trek.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Abrams Trek is just his Star Wars audition tape.
Yeah. A good one, too, but
They're
it's supposed to
enjoyable
be
films,
Trek.
but they're not very Trek.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Beyond
Trek,
was more
isn't
Trek
it?
than those were.
Yeah. But this is Trek.
This
to me,
is very
Galaxy
Trek.
Quest
This is hella Trek.
plus Trekkies. It's all here, man.
And we should watch Trekkies one of these days.
I think I did.
I think apparently Trekkies 2 gets really sad.
Let's watch the first one then.
I'm more interested in watching the second one.
Or Galaxy Quest 2.
If they make it. Yeah, Galaxy Quest 2, if they made it today, I think it would be super dark.
Yeah.
Because they'd have to get into like real fan shit. We're gonna have to talk about that next, aren't we?
Oh, we have to talk about real fan shit, don't we?
Yeah. So when Matt brought up the idea of doing a Galaxy Quest episode, I was like, but it's a comedy film, and whenever a podcast tries to talk about comedy film, they just repeat the jokes, and it's a bit lame. And Matt was saying, no,
I grabbed Thar's hammer! What a savings! Sorry, I just had to get that out at some point.
I grab Thor's hammer. You will be avenged.
What a savings!
When Alan Rickman hates doing, he can't act badly. He just can't.
Sorry, I just had to throw that.
I know, that's fine. But yeah, but then Matt was saying like, no, there's enough here of it being a good sci-fi film, which I think we've gotten a pretty lengthy podcast out of already.
Yeah.
But I watched it anyway just for funsies, and I was like, oh no, there is something here very much worth talking about. I don't think this film could be made today. I think the culture around fandom has changed so much since Galaxy Quest, in good ways and bad ways, that would just mean this film just wouldn't work.
I have to put my perspective down here.
Go
We're in
on.
Japan. I have not been outside of Japan since 2010. That's before Gamergate. I think when I left America, you could still get away with this vibe.
Kind of. But okay. So let's look at the positive side first. Back when Galaxy Quest was made, geeks and, sci-fi fans were a subculture, they were weirdos, they were outsiders, right?
Yeah, okay.
But that shit is pretty common now. Like, the Marvel films are the biggest film franchise.
Right.
Everyone's a bit of a geek. Like, our colleague Andrew, who he's like the most normal guy ever, he likes his football and blah, blah, blah. He will come in after a new Marvel film has come out and speculate with me about what's going to happen in the next one and stuff.
And he was very excited, more than anyone else, when Justice League came out. I was like, I can see Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Superman on the same screen. Even like you and I were like, this movie looks kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
And I think
I actually ended up enjoying it more
I was
than
about to
most,
say, I think
but-
I like the Justice League more than most people do. But he was more excited than any of us about the Justice League. And I was like, really?
Yeah. But yeah, because normal people are actually into this geeky shit now. It's not just, the dweebs. And so on the one hand, it doesn't work in that way, right? We live in the post-Big Bang Theory era where, it's just an aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's everyone has like a random bloody action figure on their shelf at home and they say, oh, I'm such a geek. So I don't think that angle works anymore. And on the other hand, this rabid, obsessive fan base are portrayed in this film in such a positive, endearing light. And we live in a world where that is not the case.
This movie goes specifically for Trek, though. So Marvel is everybody now.
Right.
You're not geeky if you like Marvel. Star Wars. There was always a definite...
That was always a bit
cachet,
more,
but,
yeah.
But now, even more. You can obsess on Star Wars and, everyone's cool with that. Where's Trek? Because this movie is clearly not going for Star Wars. They in '99, of course, they're not going for the superhero vibe. Are they?
Well,
going,
I guess
what kind of geek are they going for?
The movies were big, though. The Abrams Star Trek films were big films.
But they never quite broke through to that fandom, I mean, they'd play the trailers at Comic-Con, but that was for the Trek geeks that were already there, basically.
I think the weird thing is, even though not many people are that into Star Trek, they're into Star Trek geeks because of Big Bang Theory and stuff. So I think it's a long-running thing of people go to Renaissance fairs dressed as Starfleet officers because that's the way they enjoy it. It's pretending they're visiting a planet.
I can see that.
But that's become more mainstream now.
I can
Just
see that. That's kind of disturbing.
little shit like that has
You want to
become
use shore leave?
I saw a great response to that, which is another guy who goes in proper Renaissance fair costume with a communicator. And whenever he sees someone in uniform, he gets a communicator and says, I've got a couple of guys here breaking the Prime Directive.
Well, that guy's cooler, isn't he?
Yeah. Which is the actual, like, genius level play.
I glanced at my gold chair. I thought about wearing it, but I wore the psychedelic one instead.
If mine was in this country, we could have both been rocking them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Star Trek specifically is still not super mainstream. But, like, also, I don't think anyone's getting bullied or outcast for being into it, right?
That's why I said, like you were mentioning the giant convention versus the little one. For me, going to Star Trek Las Vegas sounds like all peaches and cream. Where going to, say, San Diego Comic-Con sounds like putting myself through a blender, you know?
Right, because, well, yeah, Star Trek convention, at least you know you're going to meet some other Star Trek fans. When you go to Comic-Con, it's just fat guys in a T-shirt that says free hugs. Because this is the one time they get human contact in a year.
Like
Right.
I showed my gold shirt. There are people, oh, you like that? You suck. You don't want to hear that when you go to a convention.
Oh, no, I wore my gold shirt to the Comic-Con convention. I just got arrested by some stormtroopers. It was great.
That's different.
But that's because that was when I met Shatner, right? So I had to wear my Star Trek
Star
uniform for
Wars
that.
one or Nazi ones?
Star Wars ones.
Okay, just making sure.
It wasn't the SS. No.
I don't know
this
those
is pre-Trek.
conventions.
So yeah, to go back to the point I was making. So for a long time, there was this entirely false notion that sci-fi, comic books, video games, all these geek properties were the exclusive pursuit of straight white men, which has never been true. But in more recent years, the producers of these, contents have started catering to other audiences, to women, to people of color, and these straight white men don't like that because they don't have a personality. They just have these geeky things they're into, and so they feel like something's being taken away from them when other people start getting serviced. And there's just been this vitriol and bullying and very organized, deliberate, like, recruiting of young men to turn them into hateful alt-right bastards. And it is pervasive across all of... I mean, the famous one is Gamergate, right? Mm-hmm. Where because a woman dared to make a game, like, this false narrative and all this bullshit about ethics in games journalism. And it was just a way to hound minorities out of this space. And that spread to comic books, to sci-fi, to Star Wars, to just mainstream politics. And to create a film which celebrates, like, these geek communities and these, lonely young men, without pointing out that these are the same men who shoot up schools and, put fascists in positions of power, would be doing a disservice to the audience if you made this film today.
Right, but here's what I'm looking at. So Galaxy Quest is very directly tied in with Trek, right?
Right.
So Star Wars, we have a young Aryan man who learns the ways of the Force and becomes king shit of the universe.
Yep.
Marvel, we have an older white man coming up with great powers and becoming king shit of the universe. Star Trek always started with 35-year-old Aryan man, but then you got, like, African American. I guess she's not American, but at that point, but communications officer. The Russian and the Japanese dude at the helm.
Here's the weird thing about Star Trek: it's always been super left wing and super woke, but there were so many fans who don't seem to realize that. And with each new Star Trek property, they're like, "Oh, why are you putting your social justice politics into my Star Trek?"
Because they did from episode 1.
That was Roddenberry's whole vision. Star Trek is socialist propaganda from day dot. But the fucking nerds don't seem to get that. So it's just about pew pew lasers and spaceships.
Yeah, I mean, we do like Star Wars, but we staked our claim when we did Star Wars month as Trekkies, basically. And
yeah. Well, and yeah, the best Star Wars films are the ones which subvert what Star Wars traditionally is.
And the best Trek is totally multicultural, totally open to new ideas and new concepts.
Well, to mention Discovery again, right? The start of Discovery, I was not that into it because it was so militaristic. But by the end of the first season, when it turned out that was actually going somewhere, and the conflict was ended by acting in a much more Federation-y way, that was when they won me around. Because that's what Star Trek is.
You haven't finished season 2 yet.
No, I know.
That's some gold. I guess we got wildly off topic, but again, Galaxy Quest is sort of a lens to look at sci-fi, particularly Trek through, and it works real well. And it works as a sci-fi film.
Yeah, it's not. You can't talk about Galaxy Quest without talking about the context in which it exists, right? Because it's all about that.
That's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Everything they do here is great. So if we end up talking about Discovery, that means this movie works well.
Yeah. The point of this movie is to make you think about these things, and it does that. I genuinely really like this film. It's not like one I'll watch every year, because as a comedy, it kind of works when you don't know all the jokes, you know?
I'll probably watch it every other year.
Okay. I think I watched it when I saw it in the theaters, maybe once or twice on TV, and then watched it for this podcast.
Yeah,
that was plenty for me.
A few times. So at the end, there's the new Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
That shit.
That's shit.
It's got 90s font, credit style, to make things modern. That show wasn't going to go well, I think.
Yeah, you might be right.
Guy's probably going to be Mary Jane.
It was, doing Mary Sue?
Sue, yeah.
Yeah, that one was a bit, that was Phase 2, right? Instead of Next Gen.
Yeah.
And I don't think Phase 2 would have worked either.
Honestly, it was funny. I was just, like, we both talked about, we haven't watched, still have not watched The Mandalorian. The only thing I see on The Mandalorian was on YouTube, where someone took The Mandalorian and made it to look like the opening to an 80s sitcom.
Right.
That's all I've seen of The Mandalorian. So when I saw the Galaxy Quest Phase 2, it made me kind of think of that.
Yeah, it was very... Well, we talked earlier about shows like Andromeda and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looked like one of them.
Yeah.
Like 90s sci-fi show that wouldn't really have gone anywhere.
Here's where I get negative emails. I could never do Babylon 5.
My family are big Babylon 5 fans.
Yeah.
And I have watched most of it, and it is all right.
I understand the plot has some deep stuff, and I've heard it's better in Deep Space Nine if you get into the plot. But if you're just trying to watch a show, it's pretty crap.
Yeah. If you want Babylon 5, just play Mass Effect.
There you go. I didn't play that either, but I don't have the time for that.
No.
What was it? Does it take longer to watch Babylon 5 or play Mass Effect?
I reckon it would
Including
take longer
two.
to watch them. Oh, you have to play all 3 Mass Effects.
Okay,
But
all
there's
3
5
Mass
seasons
Effect?
of Babylon 5.
Yeah, but video games take a while.
I reckon Mass Effect would be shorter. Or just like stick it on easy.
Okay.
Plus, shooting things is fun.
You know what my sci-fi game is now?
Go on.
Do you know FTL?
I know FTL, yeah.
Based on the Battlestar Galactica board game, I believe, which I didn't play, but it's a sci-fi
Oh, there's a
game.
Battlestar FTL?
No, it's just FTL, but it's
Okay.
based on a Battlestar board game.
Is it?
That's what I heard.
Oh,
I don't know.
Lots of people talk about FTL. It's very
That
popular.
scratches most of my sci-fi urges. You're basically the captain, and you regulate the power. You send people where they need to go. You're not aiming or anything. You're just captaining.
Yeah.
Captaining.
That's the dream, right? Sitting in the chair.
Yeah, exactly. You feel like you're sitting in a chair, although someone else is in the pilot chair. That makes sense. It's a very small bridge. I guess that's the problem with the game, but
Well, yeah, you're not. It's not like you're not controlling like an Enterprise in that, are you? You're controlling like a. smaller little.
You could pretend it's a Defiant pretty
Yeah.
easily.
That's what I mean, but it's not like a big
No, you can. It's
Constitution class. Or
definitely
whatever.
like a Defiant, though.
Yeah.
You can have a Defiant or Battlestar ship. Anyway, or a Protector. Actually, a Protector has a lot of people, doesn't it? A lot of Floridians, at least.
Yeah. But yeah, that's enough for Star Trek thing. It's got a huge ass crew, but like 6 who matter.
Yeah, same here, right? None of those Thermidians. We just make them all aliens who don't matter, except
Yep.
for the 2 that maybe do. But speak so weird you can't quite identify with them, yet you kind of can.
You have saved our people.
We should have the whole podcast with his voices. So in the scene where...
Or just in Thermidian.
Yeah,
I played that version as well.
I watched the whole film that way.
Yeah.
We were getting wasted. But
I have watched, whilst getting wasted, films in the audio description for blind people. Because
I've done that.
it's just like, it's fun when you watch a film which is just dumb spectacle. Because it's so pointless.
It's like a Schwarzenegger commentary.
Right.
Here I am walking across the street, and I pull out a gun, and then I shoot the man in his head.
Basically, it's just like, Optimus Prime shoots Starscream through a nearby wall. Shit like that. It's great.
Yeah.
And then we watched, one of the films we did that with was the 2009 Star Trek. Mostly it uses very sensible professional English, and it's like, and Kirk lands accidentally touching Uhura's boobies.
So, if I were blind, I think I'd take the audiobook route.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of watching a movie if you're blind? Listen
Yeah.
to audiobook. Your friends can enjoy it with you still, right? You can all
Yeah.
listen to it together. I don't
I
know.
enjoyed some audio. I think I listened to the Star Wars audiobook on a long car ride when I was a kid.
I've never done audiobook, just podcasts as we're recording.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't do audiobooks now, because I can read real fast, so I don't do an audiobook.
Can you speed read?
I mean, not like the kids at work who do those insane fucking brainwashing tablet
But the thing is,
lessons.
when you do that, you're not really getting everything. You're just
Yeah,
you're
no.
cherry
But
picking.
I read in a way where I do enjoy it quite fast.
Yeah, I think. Anything more to say about this film?
That's my brag of the week. I'm
Yeah.
such a cool dude. I can read fast.
I could read. I'm a brand new reader.
Although we're currently sat in a country where I fucking can't read anything.
Yeah, it's all kanji. Can't read it. Okay. If it's katakana, hiragana might be cool. But
I've lost a lot of that. I need to get back on my practicing.
I read Yama. That's an easy kanji.
Yama?
Yama. Wada. We're in Wada City. That's easy kanji.
Oh yeah, I can read like big, on, off, men's room, women's room.
Closed. That's
Yeah.
cool. It's good to know the men's room and the women's room.
Although
But
most of them do just have the.
we're gonna add
women, yeah.
75 more in the restrooms. And many restrooms.
No, we just need one, gender neutral.
Okay. That's how they do it in Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be pretty prescient. Really, I mean, people are, they're just doing their thing. Who cares what they are?
Yeah.
One bathroom for everyone. That is the official stance of our podcast.
One bathroom for all bathrooms for one.
Just one person gets to use it.
Excuse me, sir, you can't come in. Oh, you don't understand. All bathrooms are mine.
You can't use this. You're just going to have to soil yourself. Yeah, I guess that means we're finished. So,
That's the real king shit of fuck, man.
yeah, that's the way to end this. So, this has been Matt.
And this has been Luke.
And you need to
Get the fuck out of our sci-fi sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
There is no sanctuary.
Next week, King Kong